Now, let's look at a bedroom in a Victorian house. Victorian-style homes were built in the late 1800s through the early 1900s. This home in Fallon was built in 1904. Victorian homes were very fanciful, with added dormers, turrets, porches, and stained or leaded glass windows. Looking inside, we'll ask the same question about the bedroom as we did about the kitchen. What are some of the things in this bedroom that are different from your bedroom at home? One of the things most noticed is the potty chair and the chamber pot. Again, where were the bathrooms? Correct. They were outdoors. Would you want to get up in the middle of a cold winter's night, go downstairs, out the back door, and across a snowy backyard to use the bathroom? Most people would not, so that's why there were chamber pots. Because the bathroom was outdoors, that's also why there is a basin and pitcher on the dresser, so you would have water to wash your face and hands. But what else do you see or don't see in here that's different from your own room? Is the bed as big as the bed in your bedroom? Does your bed have such a high headboard? Think about it. What's your answer? Do you have a heat vent in your room? Remember, the kitchen was the warmest room in the older houses, so there was no heat in the bedroom. But you didn't have to crawl between cold sheets at night. This special pan was filled with hot coals and moved back and forth between the sheets to warm them up. There doesn't appear to be a closet, so where did the people who lived here store their clothes? If you had company come to your Victorian home, you might take them into the parlor. A parlor of the 1800s was like our living room today, except that it was kept as a special room reserved for entertaining guests. You can see this as you look about the room. Guests visiting here would be entertained with refreshments and music. Guests could always check their appearance in this mirror. Could you fit a mirror this big in your house? This mirror was shipped from France on a sailing ship, like the one in the picture. It came down the Atlantic Ocean, around Cape Horn, and up the Pacific coast to San Francisco. The mirror was then loaded on a freight wagon and hauled to Virginia City. A few years later, it was put on another freight wagon and hauled to Fallon. As far as we know, it has the original glass, so wouldn't you think that they were very careful with this, and that it probably cost a lot of money? Yes, we agree. They had to have been very careful, and it probably did cost a lot of money. Now look at the wreath on the wall next to the mirror. What do you think it is made of? No, it's not made of dried flowers. It's made of human hair. Before you say yuck, remember that your mom probably saved a lock of your hair from your first haircut. Why was a lock of hair so special in the 1800s? At that time, people did not have a lot of photographs of their family members, so they used jewelry made of hair in much the same way. For example, A man might be sitting in a campfire with his buddies after a day of panning gold. Instead of pulling out a string of photographs, he would pull out his watch fob and point out his wife's hair and his children's hair. But why would people make and display a wreath made of hair? Wreaths like these were usually done as memorials. Rather than pulling out a scrapbook or photo album, people would point out segments of the wreath, and they might say,
"This is Grandmother Josie's hair. She's been dead 5 years. This is Great Aunt Faith's hair. She's been gone a year now."
Other activities in this parlor included the women of the family gathering with neighboring women to do needlework or to spin, knit, quilt, and to discuss the events of the day. That is why this little spinning wheel is called a parlor wheel. Now, let's move further in time along the museum's Main Street to a building from the Art Deco period. Art Deco design didn't like all the fussy details of the Victorian time. Details here were smooth, geometric, and simple. This room, inside our Art Deco home, represents a living room in the 1930s. We didn't have enough room in our display to add a couch and chair, but if they were in this room, there is still something missing that you use today. What is it? There is no television. They didn't have TVs in the 1930s. Their main entertainment was listening to the radio. Just as you know when your favorite TV program comes on, people knew, for example, that Gunsmoke came on at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, followed by Crusader Rabbit at 9:30, and that was followed by the Lone Ranger.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-yo Silver!" The Lone Ranger.
Now that you have seen the museum's version of Main Street, let's move on to a new section.